So let's dive into a single fundamental puzzle that really sits at the heart of, well, all of economics. It's a concept that once you get it, pretty much explains every single choice you have to make every single day.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You're scrolling online, you're standing in a store, maybe you're just daydreaming about the future, and that thought hits you. Why is there always a choice? Why can't I just have everything I want?
Just think about it for a sec. You want an iPad and a MacBook, or maybe a skateboard and a scooter. Heck, it can be as simple as wanting a Coke or a bottle of water. Why do we always have to pick one? Well, the answer comes down to one really powerful economic concept. And here it is. It's called relative scarcity. This is the big one, you guys. All it really means is that what we, as a whole society, want and need is always going to be bigger than what we can possibly make with the stuff we have. You can boil the whole thing down to this simple little formula. Our unlimited wants are greater than our limited resources. This imbalance right here, this is the engine that drives all of economics. It's the one core problem that forces every single choice we ever have to make. So to really wrap our heads around this, let's pull apart both sides of that inequality. We're going to start with the unlimited wants piece. What exactly do we mean when we say wants?
Okay, so in economics, we kind of split things into two camps, needs and wants. Needs are the absolute must-haves for survival, right? Food, clothes, a roof over your head. Wants, well, wants are pretty much everything else. They're the things that make life more fun or comfortable, like that new iPad or a nice vacation.
But here's where it gets interesting. That line between a need and a want, it's not fixed. It's always moving. Think about it. For your grandparents, a smartphone was probably pure science fiction, a total want. But for us today, it feels like an absolute need. As we get wealthier, what used to be a luxury pretty much becomes the new normal. And that brings up a really important question. I mean, sure, we get new wants, but are they really unlimited? Can't we just get to a point where we're all, satisfied? Well, according to economists, the answer is probably not.
And there are a few reasons for that. For one, it's just kind of human nature to want the next thing. Plus, we're competitive. That whole keeping up with the Joneses thing is real. And on top of all that, we are just surrounded by ads and marketing that are literally designed to make us want new stuff. So no matter what we get, new wants just pop up to take their place.
All right, so we've got the unlimited want side of the equation down. Now let's flip it over and talk about the other side, our limited resources. In economics, these are all grouped into four main categories, and they're called the factors of production.
Okay, here they are. First up, you've got land, and that means any natural resource, water, oil, trees, you name it. Then there's labor, which is just the human effort, both mental and physical. Now, capital is a tricky one. It's not money. It's the man-made stuff we use to make other stuff, like machines and factories. And finally, you have entrepreneurship, which is that special skill of mixing the other three together and taking a risk to start a business. Literally every single thing ever made is just some combination of these four.
And this is a super important point, a real pro tip. We always say we don't have enough money, right? But in pure economics, money itself isn't a resource. Think about it. You can't build a house with a pile of cash. Money is just the tool we use to buy the actual resources, the land, the labor, and the capital.
Okay, so unlimited wants, limited resources. We get it. But what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, the result is that everyone, and I mean absolutely everyone, is forced to make choices all the time.
Let's start with a producer, say a banana farmer. Their land is a limited resource, so they have to ask, do I grow bananas or could I make more money growing guavas? Their capital is limited. Should I buy that new machine or is it cheaper to hire more workers? Every single decision is a trade-off, and it's all because of scarcity. It's the same deal for an income earner, like a truck driver. Their time and their skills, those are their limited resources. So, should they stick with their current gig? What if they could get a higher wage by moving to a mining town? Should they retrain for a whole new career? They have to figure out how to best use their limited labor to get the biggest payoff. And of course, this brings it all right back home to us, the consumers. Our income is our limited resource. So, do we spring for the iPad or the MacBook? Do we take the bus to school or save some cash and ride a bike? Every single day, we're making these little calculations to use our limited money to satisfy the wants and needs that are most important to us in that moment.
So here's the bottom line. It doesn't matter if you're a producer, an income earner, or a consumer. Every single person in the economy is constantly wrestling with and making choices because of this one universal problem, relative scarcity.
Which kind of leads us to the big, final takeaway from all of this. If scarcity is so fundamental to everything, can we ever actually solve it? And the short answer is no. Nope. Even in the richest countries on Earth with the most incredible technology, this core problem never goes away. Why? Because our wants are unlimited. They just keep expanding to be bigger than what we can produce. Relative scarcity isn't some temporary problem we can fix. It's just a permanent part of being human.
But hey, maybe that's not such a bad thing. It leaves us with one last really fascinating question to chew on. What if this unsolvable problem isn't actually meant to be solved? What if the whole point of scarcity is that it's the constant push that drives all of our innovation, our ambition, and all of human progress? Now that's something to think about.